Welcome back to our channel 217 Prince White. The chapter begins. The conference room hung in uneasy silence, the air thick with disbelief. Baru floated beside Suho, his dark, smoky form radiating quiet menace, the echo of a past no one could fully comprehend. For the boss of the S-rank gate in the previous world, Baru began, its calm voice carrying easily across the room, was none other than I, Baru. Gasps rippled among the guild masters. Even Choi Jong-in and Ma Dongwook stiffened in their seats. Baru's eerie purple glow flickered, casting shifting shadows across the walls. Baru was the boss of an S-rank dungeon? Suho thought to himself, eyes wide in disbelief. A creature so powerful that even S-rank hunters once feared him. His gaze turned toward the small, floating Baru. Choi Jong-in leaned forward slightly, his analytical mind piecing the details together. Come to think of it, he murmured, that summon. It's similar to the ant hunter Sung Jinwoo used to summon. All eyes turned toward Baru, who tilted his head, crimson light gleaming in his hollow eyes. Then, with a sudden burst of energy, his voice thundered across the room, cold and proud. After witnessing a predator such as myself, you seem to have instinctively realized that you are nothing but prey. The mana in the room thickened, the lights flickered, and the sound of crackling magic filled the air as Baru's form flared with violet flame. Now that you know, beg for your lives and prostrate before me, the predator, you weaklings. Before things could spiral further, Suho slammed his hand. Why are you threatening people on our side? Baru froze midair. Then, lowering his head, he stammered, my apologies, young monarch. I hadn't felt this sense of superiority in a long time, so I... Choi Jong-in adjusted his glasses, visibly shaken but curious. If what it said is true, aren't you able to clear an S-rank gate with this summon? Suho shook his head. That's going to be difficult. I may not know how strong he was in the past, but he lost all his powers. He's useless now. Baru's eyes dimmed for a moment, and his small, trembling voice whispered, young monarch. Across the table, Park Jong-soo blinked in confusion. I can't quite understand what they're talking about, he muttered under his breath. Likewise, Ma Dongwook replied flatly. Choi Jong-in leaned back, a faint smirk tugging at his lips. A single experience is worth more than 1,000 explanations. He turned towards Suho. Hunter Sung Suho, could you help those two regain their past memories as well? Suho's expression turned solemn. Of course. The room darkened as shadows coiled around his hand, the same ominous violet aura spiraling outward. Past memories? What are you? Park Jong-soo's words cut off in a strangled gasp as the light engulfed them. The air vibrated with energy. The floor shook. Purple flames danced like spirits as Suho extended his hand, and his power enveloped their minds. In an instant, visions from another lifetime, a different world drenched in blood, monsters, and despair, flooded their senses. Their eyes widened as screams tore free from their throats. The power of the Shadow Monarch's air had awakened their past once more. Wu Jinchul's voice broke the heavy silence, calm yet laden with gravity. It takes 7 days for a dungeon break to occur after a gate appears, he said, fingers interlocked before his face. If a dungeon break happens in that S-rank dungeon above Seoul, he continued, looking up slowly, the damage will be uncontrollable. The words struck like thunder. Even the most seasoned guild masters stiffened. If a dungeon break occurs midair, won't the magic beasts just fall to their deaths the moment they come out? Wu Jinchul shook his head. The association did launch an investigation into that. His eyes darkened. But we've confirmed something far more concerning. The gate's altitude has been dropping ever since it appeared, he revealed, voice low and grim. At this rate, Jinchul continued, on the 7th day, when the dungeon break would occur, we've calculated that it'll be right in the middle of Seoul. A stunned silence filled the room. A moving gate, Park Jong-soo muttered, brows furrowing. Then we have no choice but to clear it. The thought alone sent a ripple of unease through the room. Baek Yoon-ho exhaled sharply, his jaw tight. We're supposed to face those foreign enemies, the Iterum, right? But we're already struggling just to manage an S-rank gate. He clenched his fist. Judging by how he defeated the S-rank hunter Hwang Dong-soo, he thought silently. Suho has the potential to surpass us all. His eyes hardened with quiet acceptance. If this keeps up, we'll only become a hindrance to him. How long has it been since I felt this helpless? Then Hunter Lim's voice echoed. The subjugation of the S-rank dungeon in the previous world was only possible because he was there. After all, Choi Jongyin's voice carried softly through the room, completing the thought neither dared to say aloud. If only Hunter Sung Jinwoo were here. The room fell into a suffocating silence. Even the air seemed heavier. Everyone's faces were drawn, restless, anxiety slowly replacing confidence. Suho sighed quietly. Everyone's getting anxious. At his side, Baru hovered. Do not feel too responsible, he said solemnly. When my liege defeated me, he was a higher level than you, young monarch. Suho looked down, a faint tremor crossing his eyes. If Dad's level was higher, he whispered to himself. Does that mean it's impossible for me right now? Impossibility. He remembered that word vividly. The word that once bound his father, yet defined his triumph. That's no longer a problem for me. Everyone here, he thought, gazing around the tense faces, is feeling my father's absence. He straightened his posture. Whether we're prepared or not, an S-rank gate has appeared. If left like this, we'll fail to overcome the trial and meet our doom. Suho stood motionless, his gaze fixed on the polished floor beneath his feet. What's something I can do that my father couldn't? He whispered to himself. The question dug deep. I need to find an answer somehow. The fire in his eyes ignited once more. Somehow, the faint tremor of power rippled through the room. Then suddenly, it appeared. A familiar golden window flickered into existence before him. A quest has arrived. Quest notice. Quest, S-rank gate. Mobilize everything the player can do to clear the S-rank gate that appeared in the sky. S-rank gate clear, 0/1. He froze, staring at the glowing text. Huh, he muttered under his breath, his heart pounding. His eyes darted across the panels as the system's familiar hum vibrated through the air. A dark pulse rippled from behind him. From the depths, something ancient brushed against his back. A whisper, cold and commanding. Suho turned sharply, his breath catching in his throat. What was that? That single word carried the weight of destiny. Someone called out from across the room. Hunter Sung Suho, but he barely heard them. His mind was spinning, connecting pieces that only now began to make sense. Everything the player can do, he murmured. It feels as if the system is telling me that the answer lies within me. He inhaled deeply, regaining focus. His voice carried through the tense room. Hunter Baek Yoon-ho. He called out suddenly, turning toward the towering S-rank Hunter. You're a brawler type like me, right? Baek Yoon-ho blinked, taken aback, then nodded. Yes, that's correct. Suho's expression brightened slightly. Right? I had that. He extended his hand, mana coiling like black smoke around his arm. Something I obtained in the field-type dungeon, there it is. As for the name, White Tiger and Fist, he murmured. He looked down at the creation, a shadow-born relic formed through his power and experience. Baekgu, he declared quietly. That sounds good. The name echoed through the darkness, and the shadows responded. SN, Shadow Item, Baekgu level 0.1. Creation Grade, Heroic. Type, Gauntlet. Stat Manifestation, 10%. Attack, plus 130. Strength, plus 6. Health, plus 4. Agility, plus 5. Intelligence, plus 1. Sense, plus 4. Effect, Active Skill Surge. Mana cost, 120. Closes the distance to the opponent instantly and inflicts damage. Movement speed increases by 30% for 1 second after use. The gauntlet pulsed in rhythm with his heartbeat, a power that belonged not to his father, but to him. Hunter Baek Yoon-ho. Suho's calm yet determined voice broke the silence. Baek Yoon-ho turned toward him, brow raised. I have something I want to test. Could you help me? As the words left his lips, Suho's shadow surged to life, a whirlpool of black energy coiling around his arms, taking form once more. Moments later, the hunters gathered before a sealed gate, its spiraling blue vortex humming like a living storm. Inside, the dungeon walls gleamed with an eerie blue glow. Frost-covered shards hung from every direction, pulsating with residual energy. Choi adjusted his glasses. Isn't this a B-rank gate? We followed Suho here, but what is he trying to do? Their question went unanswered, for a low, monstrous roar cut through the silence. The ground cracked beneath them as a creature lunged from the shadows. Before anyone could react, a shadow gauntlet ignited with violet fire. The impact echoed like thunder, the beast's body hurled backward, leaving a crater in the frozen stone. The hunters stared, speechless. To think he'd task Hunter Baek Yoon-ho with hunting magic beasts, Choi murmured, watching the White Tiger Guild master charge forward, clad in newly forged shadow armor. Woo Jinchul, observing from behind, turned to Suho. Why is Hunter Baek Yoon-ho fighting magic beasts? Suho kept his eyes on the battle. I'm trying to test the equipment I made with my ability. Jinchul blinked. An ability that makes equipment? I thought your father's power created shadow soldiers, not items. Suho nodded slightly. It's similar, but a bit different. I heard that my father's shadow soldiers lasted forever, that he built an army capable of growing stronger with each battle. He paused, his gaze distant. Compared to him, my soldiers disappear after a day. Jinchul's expression softened. I can't do what my father did, Suho admitted quietly. However, the aura flared again, swirling up his arm. My methods may be different, but there are still things I can do. My shadow creation ability uses soldiers to create shadow equipment. Among them, Suho continued, certain pieces of shadow equipment can level up, applying the stats they had as soldiers to their wielders. Jinchul's eyes widened as he pieced it together. Don't tell me, the item you gave Baek Yoon-ho is that kind of equipment? Before Suho could respond, Choi Jong-in spoke, voice low with awe. If what you said just now is true, then you're saying the wielder can hunt magic beasts to become stronger? Suho stood silently. I think it's possible, he said at last, his voice steady, unwavering. If there's any issue, he continued, his gaze narrowing as Baek Yoon-ho unleashed another devastating blow against the monsters surrounding him. It's that I don't know if people other than me can level the equipment. The beasts screamed, their bodies torn apart by the sheer force of Baek Yoon-ho's enhanced punches. Baek Yoon-ho's eyes widened beneath the rush of adrenaline. This gauntlet Suho gave me, it's beyond what I imagined. Power across his muscles like living lightning. Forget its capabilities. The moment I equipped it, another punch split the air like a sonic boom. I naturally learned a skill. Flames of purple and red spiraled around him, mana concentrating into a singular violent surge. Active skill, Surge. Mana cost, 120. Closes the distance to the opponent with an instantaneous leap and inflicts damage. Movement speed increases by 30% for 1 second after activation. Suho and Woo Jinchul stood nearby, feeling the tremor ripple through the field. Suho's lips curved faintly as the system's golden text appeared before him. Shadow item. Baekgu level 0.2. Creation grade, Heroic. Type, Gauntlet. Stat manifestation, 11%. Attack, plus 130. Strength, plus 7. Health, plus 4. Agility, plus 6. Intelligence, plus 1. Sense, plus 4. Baek Yoon-ho panted, then looked at his hands in awe. My body somehow feels much lighter. Suho stepped forward, his expression resolute. There are 6 days remaining until the dungeon break. Before that happens, I'll do whatever it takes to create equipment for everyone. The other hunters exchanged glances. Leveling equipment for all of us. Choi Jong-in murmured. Suho turned toward them, shadows swirling around his hands. All these upcoming trials, his eyes gleamed with quiet fire. Let's fight together and overcome them. The hunters looked at him, at the son of the man who once stood alone against the world, and saw something new, a leader who fought not above them, but beside them. Then, voices broke through the charged silence. Hunter Sung Suho, Choi Jong-in called out. Could you create an item that enhances the fire element? No, my bow first. Hunter Lim interrupted. That's not something I can decide, Suho replied awkwardly, scratching his neck. Woo Jinchul's voice rang out from the back. Could an A rank like me become as strong as an S rank? Coaches, Dong Wook yelled in jest. How about we go by oldest first? Woo Jinchul's gaze lingered on Suho, a faint smile forming as thoughts stirred within him. Hunter Sung Jinwoo's authority was perfect, flawless. He never needed anyone's help. Compared to his father, Suho's power is built to lift everyone alongside him. To those who couldn't fight in the last world, Jinshul thought, Suho's power is the hope that gives them the chance to rise again. The image formed in his mind. What if I get the chance to fight alongside him? The thought struck deep. Jinshul's expression softened further as he looked at the young man before him, resolute, strong, and burning with purpose. He pressed a hand to his chest, whispering quietly, "It's still just a dream." A faint smile tugged at his lips. "But I hope for that day to come." The sun-drenched estate sits quietly under a flawless sky, its modern lines reflected over the glittering pool. Laura approaches with composed steps, a tablet held neatly in her hands. "Master, I think you've forgotten something," she says, her tone soft but precise. Thomas lifts his head from the lounge chair, lazily stretching. "Did I?" he replies. She reminds him gently. "You said after visiting the Azura Guild, you'd go to Korea." Recognition flickers across Thomas's face, followed quickly by indifference. "Ah, you mean meeting Sung Suho," he mutters. He continues, expression unwavering. "That fruit isn't ripe enough to harvest yet." Laura blinks. "Fruit." His voice remains calm and methodical as she lays out the situation. "By showing the Azura Guild what we're capable of, Scavenger's public image is renewed. And Suho has reawakened and become an S rank, right? For us, there's nothing to gain by going to Korea right now." Laura adds quietly, "Didn't you want to take revenge for Randolph?" Thomas's gaze shifts, distant and heavy. "Revenge? I just want to mourn." He lifts his hand toward the warm sunlight above. "Using your own death in the most meaningful way possible. Isn't that the greatest tribute you can offer to Randolph?" "Then this might be that very moment," she says. Thomas turns, eyebrow raised. "Since the cataclysm, the first S-rank gate has appeared in Korea. They're requesting hunters from several nations." A slow smile spreads across Thomas's lips, sharp and unsettling. "The fruit is ripe now," he murmurs, savoring each word. He rises from his seat with casual brutality as he snaps a command. "Laura, contact Korea, tell them Scavenger will help. Prepare the jet. We're heading to Korea right now." Laura bows her head without hesitation. "Understood." Thomas pauses. For a moment, his expression changes. "Randolph," he whispers, "I promise you, I'll make sure your death is paid for dearly." Far away in the dungeon, Choi Jong-in's eyes widen behind his glasses. This is, in his hand, a swirling gear of shadow energy pulses like a living flame. Violet embers drift from its surface. Information flickers before him like a manifested system window. Shadow item. Torch, level 0.1. Creation rank, heroic. Type, accessory, bracelet, stat manifestation rate, 10%. Def, plus 40. STR plus 3. AGI plus 5. Luck plus 4. Vit plus 4. Int plus 9. Fire damage minus 50%. Active skill, rapid ignition, level 0.1. Mana cost, 300. For 1 minute, fire skill casting time is reduced by 30%. Suho steps forward, voice calm but resolute. "This is shadow gear I made for you, Hunter Choi Jong-in," he says. "It's called Torch." "Torch." Jong-in repeats quietly, almost reverently. Then he bows his head. "Thank you." Jong-in thought written across his face. Growth-type gear, personally crafted by Suho. If he hunts, he can grow stronger too. And Suho has already given these weapons to others as well. A hint of worry pushes its way through Jong-in's admiration. Suho looks pale, strained, and when he finally speaks, "It's fine. I've already finished making the gear for everyone who was there." But Jong-in's eyes widened at the sight. Suho doesn't look fine at all. Baru hovered beside Suho, thinking to himself, Suho hunted monsters day and night to create heroic-grade items, then burned through what little time remained clearing his daily quests, restoring stamina through potions for 2 days without pause. No wonder he can barely stand. Jong-in clenches his fists, staring at Suho's fading strength. He's pushing himself too hard, too far, just to keep his word. "I'll have to work harder, so Hunter Sung Suho's effort doesn't go to waste." Suho straightens, determination settling in. "Now we just need to deliver this gauntlet to Chairman Wu Jinshul." Jong-in steps forward. "If you're going to the Hunter Association, I'll go with you." Suho waves dismissively. You don't have to go that far, but Jong-in shakes his head. No, I actually had business at the association today too. Because Thomas Andre is supposed to visit. Suho glances over, eyebrows tightening slightly at the name. Thomas Andre. You mean the U.S. National Power Level Hunter. The two of them step out, walking toward the towering association building. Sunlight climbs its mirrored surface as they cross the open plaza. But the moment Suho lifts his gaze, he pauses. Dense silhouettes gather around the chairman's office. A crowd, no, a blockade. There are a lot of people in front of the chairman's office. Suho mutters. As they approach, Jong-in recognizes the look instantly. They're probably Scavenger Guild members under Thomas Andre, he whispers. Hunter Suho, wait here. Suho's jaw tightens. Scavenger, the guild that ambushed us in the pyramid dungeon to steal all the rewards. Are these guys joining the S-rank gate too? The door slides open with a soft metallic click, and Choi Jong-in steps inside, straightening his posture. You're here, Hunter Choi Jong-in, Chairman Wu announces. Inside, seated calmly on the sofa, this is the leader of our Korean raid force, he continues. Jong-in steps forward, offering a polite nod. Hello, I'm Choi Jong-in of the Hunters Guild. His gaze shifts subtly toward the towering figure opposite him. So this is America's #1 hunter. He thinks, a chill slipping down his spine. Thomas Andre's massive frame fills the room as he leans forward, voice rumbling with a confidence that borders on arrogance. His grins, sharp and predatory. Nice to meet you. I assume I don't need to introduce myself. The declaration isn't a greeting, it's a warning. Jong-in swallows hard. His presence is overwhelming. Beside him, Laura gestures calmly. Then let's begin. She unfolds the terms with a cold, practiced tone. These are Scavenger Guild's conditions for joining the S-rank gate. The first condition drops like a hammer. Korea cannot accept aid from any nation other than Scavenger. And the second, Scavenger will take 80% of the gate's rewards. The chairman's eyes widened. 80%? That's outrageous. Thomas tilts his head, amused. Outrageous. His smile widens, cruel and deliberate. This is a perfectly reasonable offer. The fact that Korea asked for foreign aid means you've already judged you can't clear an S-rank gate alone. With a dismissive shrug, he adds, considering the damage from a dungeon break, we're cheap. He sat in full view now, the sunlight reflecting off the scars of countless battles, a walking declaration of power. Thomas Andre, National Power Level Hunter, Scavenger Guild. Jong-in's jaw clenches. It seems they didn't come to negotiate, but to threaten us. Then, Chairman Wu's voice echoed. We only requested aid because the S-rank gate's threat level was immeasurable, and you should know Korea recently gained 2 new S-rank hunters. No matter how he looked at it, Scavenger's conditions were nothing short of absurd. We'll decline Scavenger's help and request support from other nations. Then Thomas Andre leans back, his voice dripping with venomous calm. Do you know about the incident in the Egyptian field-type dungeon? His words drag up the memory of a shattered battlefield. We lost Randolph, a core member of Scavenger, along with many valuable guildmates. At that scene were our guild, the Azura Guild, and a group of Korean hunters. Rumors had spread like wildfire afterward, whispers belittling Scavenger's strength. To restore our honor, I visited the Azura Guild, Thomas says, voice low. And from them, I learned the name of the Korean hunter who was there. He lifts his gaze. What was that name again, Laura? She answers without hesitation. His name is Sung Suho. The moment the name is spoken, Chairman Wu and Jong-in freeze. So, Thomas's gaze sharpens to a deadly point. Yes, Sung Suho. It seems he's connected to Randolph's death. He straightens, and the temperature of the room drops. If you refuse our offer, the compensation for Scavenger's losses, his voice becomes a blade. Will be paid with the life of Korea's precious new S-rank hunter. A pulse of killing intent spreads outward. Still planning to refuse? He glances at Jong-in with mocking curiosity. Or perhaps your final weapon, your raid captain, will try stopping me instead? Choi Jong-in's breath catches. Rage flares in his eyes, but so does fear. On instinct, his body tenses as Thomas's overwhelming aura presses harder, crushing down like a storm. The tension in the room snaps like a wire as Choi Jong-in's patience finally breaks. Flames of indignation roar through him, memories flashing. The Apostle of Iterum, the S-rank gate, the heavy burden Suho already carries. He clenches his jaw, forcing himself to endure the humiliation radiating from Thomas Andre, because fighting here would only drag Suho down with him. Outside the office, scavenger members lurk like vultures. A heavy hand bangs against the door. "Hey, Brad, where do you think you're going? Come out while I'm asking nicely." Before the words even settle, the door slams open, and Suho is yanked forward. A powerful arm wraps around his torso, pinning his arms, but Suho's expression stays calm even as the grip tightens. "I said come out." The room falls silent for a heartbeat. Suho steps inside with calm defiance. "Sorry for jumping in so suddenly. If this causes problems, you can scold me properly afterward." Jong-in tries to warn him, voice shaking. "What are you trying to do?" Suho meets Thomas Andre's gaze without fear. "You're the U.S. National Power Level Hunter, right? Scavenger proposed taking over 80% of the profits." He continues, "Inside a gate, whoever claims the spoils first owns them. If Scavenger is really superior to us, taking more than 80% should be easy, right?" Chairman Wu and Choi Jong-in's eyes widened in shock. Even Thomas Andre's expression shifts. "Interesting," he murmurs, rising from his seat. The air grows heavy as his monstrous pressure fills the room. Thomas steps closer until he stands face to face with Suho, towering over him like a beast. Suho doesn't flinch. The floor trembles under Andre's growing power, but Suho's shadow-tinted aura rises to meet it. Their foreheads almost touch. "What will you do if I pulp you right here and now?" Thomas growls. Suho stares straight into his eyes. "Then people will say Scavenger flew to Korea only to cause chaos." His voice drops lower, colder. "And what gives you the confidence you'll win?" Thomas Andre's eyes widen in raw fury. "Brat." A thunderous vibration shakes the entire building as golden aura erupts around him like a blazing inferno. Floors crack, lights flicker, and the hallway fills with shock waves as the two hunters face each other, power surging like colliding storms. The storm had just begun. Chapter end here. For more, like, share, and subscribe.